Do you have questions concerning planning a Disney trip? Ask them live on the show or submit them on our website at patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. We are live, sort of. We live taped this a couple hours ago. Had some other commitments we needed to attend to, but you still get a show tonight. It's very live because we're going to be talking about Epic Universe. We're going to talk about Disney's response. I've got Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel. I've got a top three of some sort today, and it's going to be a good show, so stick with us. Here we go. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. All right, what's going on? Matt with the DPI podcast. It's Tuesday night. We've got DPI Live. A couple of housekeeping things. If you are an audio listener, subscriber, we are catching up on our audio episodes since Spotify changed their uploading procedures. So over the next 3 weeks, we're going to get you caught up. There is an episode every day, Monday through Friday, for the next 3 weeks. So definitely jump over Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Over on YouTube now, YouTube actually has a podcast feature as well. So if you're watching the show on YouTube and you just want to listen to it, you can check it out on our YouTube channel as well. Also, if you want to support the show, we have a tip jar. Go down to our comments, our description down below. Check out that tip jar. Leave us a couple bucks, something like that. Helps us out producing the show, getting the show on the air. You know, we did 44 shows last year, so we didn't take a lot of weeks off. So, got a good show tonight. We've got Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel. We're going to talk Epic Universe. We're going to talk a top three. We've got the opening of the Pixar Place Hotel. We've got a lot going on. So let's go ahead and let's bring over on Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel. Mr. Salvadori, how you doing tonight? I do not have you on here. Hold on one second here. I don't know what goes on with my stuff sometimes. Display capture, properties. Why are you not there? Advanced audio pro. Yeah, I have no clue why I can't hear you. It's like I can hear everything else, but I can't hear you through there. So, yeah. No, I can hear you in my ears, but I can't hear you through the stream. So, stop audio, digital, high definition, apply. Look.
And make it amazing.
Hey, there we go. It's like I have to, the sound set up right, but I have to reapply it for some reason. OBS is being ridiculous right now. Okay, so Peter, you're doing well. Let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about last week. You weren't on the show. Why weren't you on the show?
Well, the show begins at 7:15, and at 7:30, my flight started boarding on my way back from the Florida.
The Florida.
Yeah, snuck down to World for a little bit, take in Festival of the Arts. It was fantastic. It was a really great time. Myself, my family. The only downside is we were all kind of like fighting a little bit of illness, and so it was fine. It just led to a much slower pace of doing things, which ended up all right. Spent too much money on artwork ate. Like, I know Shannon was impressed by the way that I attack festivals, so I did the same with the Festival of the Art booths. I was really impressed because I felt like, because I went to Festival of the Arts 2 years ago, I believe, and I was like, it was good. But this time there were a little bit less art vendors, so that's kind of a negative. But there were a lot more food booths than I remember, so I'm going to chalk that up as a positive.
There you
go. Festival of the Arts was really, really amazing, and it really challenged my ranking system of the festivals in Epcot, because now that the food, the culinary side of things, are kind of beefing up a little bit, which is funny because there was a beef Wellington on one of the menus. That the fact that there's also this explosion of artwork there really, really challenges, because like Festival of the Arts was definitely, you know, the stepchild of the Epcot festivals.
Yeah.
But now I mean, it's right up there. It is right up there for total overall experience, right? Food and wine and flower and garden. With flower and garden, you have all the topiaries. Food and wine is just straight up food and beverages galore. But in terms of like the experiences, like Festival of the Holidays and Festival of the Arts got to be your best two like total experience festivals now at Epcot. And,
I mean,
and flower and garden and food and wine are, you know, food driven festivals.
They are, yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing is, you know, like you said, food driven. For flower and garden, you do get the topiaries, which that's that added thing, but it's nowhere near the addition of external vendors and different activities that the other two, that Festival of the Arts and Holidays provide. So Holidays
definitely, like all the Santa traditions that get told on a pretty much hourly basis. And then Festival of the Arts, I mean, I probably 30-ish vendors.
That's not
now
bad.
Some of them were like Kincaid had 3 tents and you know, stuff like that. But two of the coolest things, so then we'll see what else you want to ask. So two of the coolest things, I bought a Kincaid canvas, and there was a Kincaid artist there. It was actually Thomas's nephew, and he gave me a hand sketch drawing of Dopey that I recorded part of him drawing it for me.
Nice.
And then we got a canvas of Mickey at Bryce Canyon that was painted by Brett Iwan.
Okay, the voice of Mickey.
Right. So I got Mickey at Bryce Canyon for Bryce, painted by Mickey. and he wasn't there, unfortunately, to sign. He's going to be there February 5th and 6th. And I cannot tell you how close I am to pulling a single day down and back, literally just to get it inscribed to Bryce from Brett, so that I have a to Bryce from Mickey picture of Mickey made by Mickey of Bryce Canyon.
So that's a lot going on there. That's a lot going on.
Further into Inception.
Oh, but Brett, we met him at D23. Super nice dude. Super nice dude.
Right. Like, so even just to like walk up and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to like, because you know he would totally get a kick out of it as well. Just the personality that I realized he was in that very quick exchange with him.
So you went down there pretty much for Flower and Garden, or for Festival of the Arts. Luminous. Did you stick around and watch Luminous?
We did. We watched Luminous. We watched Luminous one of our nights.
What are your thoughts?
That's the second time I've now seen Luminous. First time I just kind of took it in. We were in a very distracted viewing spot. We were kind of like tucked up against the fish and chips, the Yorkshire fish shop. And this time, though, I took one of Matt's secrets and we went and watched it from the Izumatsuzuki Sushi Kaya
Yes.
Japan area.
The Teppanydo balcony.
Yeah, the balcony was unfortunately full by the time we got there, but we did. My kids climbed up a couple of steps on the pagoda,
Uh-huh.
and we then stood right there, and we had a wonderful view. Saw the globe. It was a great place to watch because you have the globe now that interacts with the show in a much bigger manner than it ever did before. Thoughts? Good music. I did enjoy the score. I do like the original pieces, and I am working on finding those original pieces to get them into my Disney playlist on Spotify. And good fireworks accompanying the music. The water jets, good use of light on the water jets to kind of create the mood and ambiance. You know, the love scene has got blues and pinks, and then the like very, very powerful emotional scene has got red everywhere, and really, really good stuff overall. And so yeah, I think it's good. If you asked me to like rank it, the kick that Illuminous has is the barges get brought in like they used to with
Illuminations
and all of that stuff. And so I think Harmonious, like, what's better about this now is that you just don't have the eye store sitting in the middle, because that was the doom to fail aspect. Was those barges were supposed to be daily fountains, and the debris in the lake from firework clogged up the ports immediately. So, you know, if they would have worked that around and those would have been decorative, you know, perhaps we wouldn't even be talking about Luminous.
Yeah.
Harmonious will be playing there, but I did like the movie display of Harmonious, and of course I was a big fan of Illuminations, and so it's nice to see the country lights reincorporated. It's nice to hear kind of a bringing us together theme, as I believe Epcot is that has to be Epcot's mission and goal.
Do you feel like it has more of a goal, like an end goal with the show? You know, Illuminations had an end goal. You know, you were building to something with Illuminations. Harmonious, I felt like you were kind of all over the place. We always joked that they just went around and they threw darts at the different countries on the Epcot map, and then they're like, oh, we can use this movie for this country. Let's bring in a couple of people and we'll make it awesome. But it never really had like a purpose. It was just a bunch of different music mashed together, and then they put a song at the beginning, a song at the end, and said, okay, we're good. What do you feel like Luminous does?
Excuse me. I did feel like a bit more emotional pull watching Luminous than I did with Harmonious. As you said, Harmonious just kind of pull, and while there might be emotional moments, I'm thinking especially like the Remember Me portion of Harmonious.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's just a very powerful song in general. But I did feel like the Luminous soundtrack does sort of crescendo in a way that Harmonious did not. I'm looking for the name of the song to actually say it out loud on air. Hold on, let me find it. The end. Beating of Our Hearts, I think, is the end song that I'm thinking of. It does. It pulls the storyline of look at the fantastic people around you, look at the amazing of humanity. Look at the love and the compassion, sharing in the sorrows and the joys, and creating a global togetherness. I did feel that kind of that illuminations piece of it
Mm-hmm.
brought back in Luminous a bit more than Harmonious. So I did feel like there was a bit more of a continuous storyline. So all in all, I got to watch it a couple more times. I was still just kind of taking it in because, like I said, we were very distracted the first time we watched it because we were very packed. This time we had a lot more space, had a much better viewing vantage point, and all that.
Yeah, and you had
stuff.
gone like a week after it had debuted too the first time, right? Or was it more?
Yeah.
Oh no, it was really close. So yeah, you had a lot of people trying to get their first look at it the first time you went. Um, Anything else on your trip that just kind of jumped out as something cool that you did that was new, or anything like that?
Well, on your recommendations, we did Italy, not Viennapoli. That's the pizzeria. Tutto Italia.
Tutto Italia. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we did Tutto Italia. That was the last of the restaurants in all of the parks that I had not eaten at, because in December we knocked off Rainforest Cafe and now we knocked off Tutto Italia. So I can officially say, outside of Monsieur Paul and Takumi Tai, which we have to get super special occasions for, we can say that I've eaten at every restaurant. I did enjoy Tutto Italia. We were in the middle of a festival eating day when we ate at Tutto Italia, but Jesse and I kind of perfect portioned, got the gnocchi, very delicious, got the calamari as a sampler or as an appetizer. Really, really good food there. And then I did the Magic Kingdom fireworks package and had not done that before.
Okay. Did you do it before, on, or after?
We did before.
Okay.
And it was fantastic. Like, I will 100% justify that money to any client that asks me about it. It was a remarkable experience. You literally eat and drink to your heart's content. They had a little bit of charcuterie, then they had a whole bunch of desserts. They had a decoration station where you got to like ice and frost your cookies and all that good stuff. Several options of wine and beers, and which is also a rarity in Magic Kingdom, to be able to just sit there drinking for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And then the hub grass area. Now, granted, our party was not full. They did tell us that our party was not sold out, but the hub grass area was maybe a third full. We were able to basically lay on the ground all the way up until the fireworks started. Then for a safety thing, because of the low lighting, they do make you stand in the area. But we were completely just kind of sitting on our own. We didn't go shoving up to the front fence like many of the people did. So we were just standing back there, just kind of in the middle by ourselves.
When we went in September, we were in front of one of those, the party areas.
That is the VIP area, actually, I did find out.
Really?
So the only people in that hub grass area are the people that currently have a VIP experience going.
Well, that was kind of nice. So, but no, it was the same thing, what you were talking about, with people just kind of pushing towards the front and that kind of stuff. Because we were on the backside of the DAS area, and we were trying to make sure that we weren't inhibiting views of people in the area behind us. So no, that's cool. Yeah, we've done the dessert party for Magic Kingdom fireworks. We've done the dessert party for Epcot fireworks, and we'd love to see that come back.
I would love to see the Frozen Ever After fireworks show come back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, so I can justify it. I cannot justify it. It depends on which way the client's leaning, on where they want to go. But yeah, they are really cool experiences. Both of them are really cool experiences. So definitely something. If you want to look at adding it onto your trip, we can definitely talk you into it, if you have any questions. So, yeah. Past that, anything else? I know it was a relatively short trip, so.
So yeah, we stayed at Saratoga Springs for the first time. Like every time I go down there, I'm just trying to like notch another thing off, and say done, done, done. So
Saratoga's a nice enough resort.
I enjoyed it. We got a preferred room, so we were right next to. It was like pluses and minuses, because we were right next to the main building, and so we were like perfectly right between the two pools, and it was warm enough that we did venture out to each of those pools. And so then it was also nice that once we got on the bus, it was headed to the park right after that. The one downside, though, is that we were at the last stop. So coming back at the end of the night,
yeah,
we like pulled into Saratoga Springs, and I'm like, put your feet up. 30 minutes from now, we're getting dropped off. It wasn't quite that bad, but it was like a solid 10.
Yeah, because there's 6 stops in Saratoga, so.
Yeah, 5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah. Because when we stayed there our second trip, we stayed in the 7500 block, so the block of buildings that's closer towards, like, as you're exiting, walking around the path to Disney Springs.
Yeah, if I stay there again, the next time I stay at Saratoga, I would like to stay there for about a week, and I would like to request right by that walkway to Springs, and I would like it to be on a trip where I might plan to go to the parks very sparingly, maybe when my family doesn't have annual passes or something like that, where we're only going to go to the park a couple days.
Yeah, because, I mean, you get up towards that main building, you can get over to Lake Buena Vista Golf Course relatively easy, and it's a good.
Can sneak on at night.
Yeah, it's easier from Key West, but yeah. So all right, so let's actually hit the news button now and talk about some of the news, because there was some big news that was released today. So let's hit this. I'll give us 15 minutes. I don't know if it's going to take us 15 minutes, but we have 15 minutes on the clock, and Universal Studios fired the first shots this year, and they released everything for Epic Universe this morning. There was a 7-minute video by their director of entertainment and parks that goes over the whole map, 5 lands, a huge, like, open vista area, and then an enormous luxury hotel at the end of it. It's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna be a big deal. They're not calling it Epic Universe for anything. So let's break it down a little bit. So 5 new lands, basically. And I say that kind of in jest, because they're calling the open area in the middle of land. I don't necessarily I wouldn't count that. That's like calling Main Street USA a land in.
It is.
It's a park area.
Get the hell out of here.
You're stretching there.
Hey.
But okay, so you got
USA is absolutely listed as an area in Magic Kingdom.
It's got
a whole part on the map and everything.
Super Nintendo Land, Dark Universe, the new addition to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and How to Train Your Dragons. And then you have the open area, which is called. Do you have the map up? I don't have the map up.
It's called Celestial Park.
Celestial Park, because the hotel is the Celestial Grand Hotel or something like that.
Helios.
Helios. So yeah, so they released everything. So if you want to go onto Universal's website, check out a map. It shows basically everything. This thing's enormous. And you could tell by the construction pictures, it was enormous. And how much they took out, it's enormous. I mean, it's going to triple Universal Studios basically in size. And it's going to give them another 500.
The biggest thing about it is, so like right now, you go into City Walk, so you go through a common security point that lets you into City Walk, which is essentially like a Disney Springs or a Downtown Disney.
Yep.
And then to the left, if you go down the ramp and you keep walking straight, you go into the Islands of Adventure. And if you veer off to the right and go around the lake, you go into Universal Studios. Epic Universe is a decent distance away, a couple of miles at least away, and so it's going to really create that sort of Disney World feeling where there's going to have to be constant shuttle transportation provided by Universal. So not only is this a huge undertaking, and exactly what Matt said, it's definitely like right now thinking about the size of a Universal park. This is like 1.5 parks approximately in terms of everything that is going in here. And so on top of creating all of those jobs and opportunities, there's a lot of infrastructural things that have to happen in order to allow, more parking. And what if I want to park hop? And now is it worth park hopping? Because, it's kind of like Disneyland. Universal, if a client said, should I park hop? I'm like, you're dumb if you don't. But now, maybe it's going to be interesting with the tickets. I could see Universal creating a studios and adventure park ticket and an Epic Universe park ticket, and then the option to park hop. It wouldn't make much. I don't know. There's going to have to be so many levels of park tickets in order for this all to play out.
Yeah. So with that being said, they're talking, what is it? There's 3 rides in Super Nintendo, 2 in Dark. Are there any in the new Wizarding? 2 in...
There's gotta be. Yeah,
I think there's 2 in Wizarding.
Yeah.
3 in How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, that's going to be so... I mean, Isle of Berk is going to be so cool. Nintendo World's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, adding in another Harry Potter area is just going to pull in a very consistent crowd. Dark Universe, to see Frankenstein and other monsters roaming around, is going to be really fun, and it'll really give them a launching point to do the holidays, the Halloween scare nights. They'll basically, they've already written the script, right? You just kind of let Dark Universe invade.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, it gives them that easy forward into Hallow Scare.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting on kind of the theming in Dark Universe, where Florida is obviously hot as anatomical body parts, and bright, and it'll be very interesting on how they can capture. I just got to imagine there's got to be a lot of artificial trees kind of grown up over pathways to just kind of create. It'll be very interesting to see how that all comes together.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it's very interesting. You go into Epic Universe and you're in this celestial park, and then the 4 areas basically have a portal that you go into, each an individual entry and exit way. But if you keep walking through Celestial Park, you ultimately get to that Helios Grand. And so it kind of reminds me of Disneylandish, where Disneyland, you go through security and you've got the parks branched off either way, and then you keep going through Downtown Disney, and you ultimately get to all the hotel properties on the backside of Downtown Disney. So
Now, will there be any entrance points from like Islands of Adventure into this, or is this going to be a standalone?
This is nowhere near it. If you look at like the map, and I wish I had like screen share abilities, but if you look at the map, you've got all of the stuff. And let me see if I can pull up like a map with a legend so I can get a scale here. But you basically got the City Walk and the other two parks, and then you have got, God, this doesn't have a scale, but it is, you've got Volcano Bay and all of the hotels, and then you've got the City Walk and that all area. And then south of all of that across the street is the Endless Summer Resort. And then even further south has to be, like I said, kind of a solid mile.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah, it is a standoff being built. It is definitely not incorporated in any way into what's currently built, which is why I say, like, this is a big undertaking here, because now how does security happen? Is there additional parking structures being created for just here? There's got to be a constant busing system. And then the busing system is going to be a pain in the butt, because right now, the only way in and out of City Walk is kind of a common entry point. So if I want to park hop, I mean, it's going to have to be, I've got to walk out of the parks, walk all the way out of City Walk all the way out of security, go all the way down to a bus depot that doesn't exist right now, by the way. Board a bus, go all the way over, probably go through security. It's going to be this is really taking Universal. So I compare Universal in Florida to Disneyland very regularly.
Yeah.
When people ask me about it. But yeah, this makes Universal in Florida more like Disney World now, in many ways.
Okay, with that being said, what is Disney's response? You know, they can't wait. They can't wait till D23 on this. They can't give Universal 8 months of the front page press on this. So how does Disney respond?
Well, when I was just down there, we ended up Ubering around just a little bit, just because we were not in the mood to wait for buses and other things like that. I talked to several people, because I did get several individuals that I could communicate easily as my Uber drivers. And one guy said the pulse in the area is, they are not saying it, but they are clearly starting to develop a fifth gate.
Okay.
In terms of just the permits that are filed, and just if you pay attention around property, you can kind of notice that there's kind of a flurry of activities in a specific area of property. I believe he and I were talking, it's kind of west. You know how you have kind of the 3 parks and springs, and then you go up to get to Magic Kingdom?
Yeah.
Kind of off west of that, sort of like in between that main drag and Animal Kingdom, is where there's kind of a lot of dirt being moved and things being pushed around and jobs being hired for construction and things like that. So according to a local that I was speaking to, the fifth gate is happening, and they're just getting, they want to be at a point where they're ready to show you concept art, and the construction's currently there, and they want all of the site development and plumbing and all of that stuff to be done.
But wouldn't we have concept? Wouldn't we have like a blue sky? Wouldn't we have something already if it was going to be a fifth gate? I mean, that's my whole thing is, you know, they aren't going to just sit around and say, oh, well, let's get it to a point where we can say, yeah, you know, the 2 years of work that we've gone into site development, that's what this is going to be. Universal, before they put shovel in the ground, said, here's what Epic Universe is going to be.
Right. And we're just sitting here for the past 2 D23s, keep getting blue-skied about what are we doing in Dino Land and what are we doing back behind Big Thunder Mountain. And I think a lot of the reason why those blue skies haven't come to fruition is because I think the fifth gate is the better money sink. And so the blue skies are not coming to pass because at the end of the day, expanding what they currently have makes a lot less sense than creating a brand new.
Yeah.
So.
No, I can get on board with that. To me, it just says right now they can't sit until September on this news and say, well, we've got big news to tell you. We've got big news to tell you. Just hang around. We're gonna be there. You know, it's gonna happen, because they've been saying that for 2 years and they're losing that crowd that's wanting to stick around. I feel like they've got to counter with something here in the next couple of months that says, hey, we've got a plan. Here's what the plan is. We'll reveal more at D23 or something like that. I really think this announcement today and the timing of it really puts them behind the 8 ball when it comes to any announcement that they make at D23 now. So yeah, other things going on. Pixar Place Hotel opened at Disneyland today. Really cool. They had a live Joe Gardner in there playing some tunes on a piano in the lobby. Rooms look awesome. The only problem that I have with hotels out in Disneyland is the price. They are outrageous, and it's a product of how easy it is to find affordable accommodations around it that are walkable to the parks. They've made themselves the deluxe plus options, and everybody else is your values and moderates, and you kind of deal with it that way. Have you checked out any of the stuff on the Pixar Place Hotel yet?
Just a little bit, not too incredibly much. But my wife was saying, like, oh, Pixar Place is opening. I was like, it's just redesigned Paradise Pier.
That's all it is. It is.
Like, all they did was take IP and shove it into Paradise Pier.
Yeah, just like they did with the Contemporary.
Right. So, yeah, because my wife's like, oh, they opened a 4th hotel. I was like, no. Just rebranded and redesigned the 3rd hotel. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, Disneyland, so Paradise Pier comes off at like a low-end deluxe resort for Disney World, and Grand Californian, or Disneyland Hotel comes off at like the mid-level deluxe resort, and Grand Californian comes off at the high-end deluxe resort.
Yeah.
And if you want a value or a moderate price, you have to click on the Good Neighbor button, which I mean, people do it obviously, but I think it prices out a lot of people, because I would love to go stay at Pixar Place, Paradise Pier, whatever PP you want to call it, but I just can't justify spending $350 to $400 for what amounts to a Pop Century feel.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it is. I mean, other than just being on property, but everything else is just off property. I mean, we're staying at a hotel for, I think it was $189 a night that is walkable. So, and it's right. A nice hotel. It's
not even a bad walk. It's honestly, it is a leisurely 15-minute walk that you're getting.
Yeah. So,
like, you can walk that far to your bus stop at World.
You're not lying, though. You're not lying. Get in a bad building at All Star. Tell us how you feel. No. What else is going on at the parks? Kind of all over the place today. Oh, cast party was last night. If you want to check out cool fireworks, go over to Laughing Place's Twitter account. They posted the fireworks show from last night that had elements of enchantment, wishes, and a full run of Happily Ever After with some custom audio work done for the cast members. So really cool there. They do that every year. That's where that Swedish House Mafia video came from, was one of the cast parties. Just really cool event. Celebrates the cast. Magic Kingdom closed at 4:30 yesterday. Hard closed at 4:30 for the cast event. So, no, really cool there. 150 Shop Disney cast members are being replaced by a third-party company, Transcom. Contracted workforce, which is cheaper and doesn't require Disney to pay benefits. These are all remote jobs in their customer service department for Shop Disney. Shop Disney's going downhill ever since they started taking away the stores, the actual brick and mortars. I feel like the quality of the customer service has been pretty terrible. Avatar producer John Landau visited Walt Disney Imagineering to start talking about the future of the Avatar project at Disneyland. There's another Blue Sky project that we're just waiting on. At least we get like the city of Anaheim reports on what's going on with the Disneyland Forward project. But, you know, this Avatar project, something that they've had in the books. And look, 2 years later, we're finally getting something of actual like, hey, let's start producing something. We're going to bring in the people that can actually do that.
You know, and this is really, you know, same thing with the response to Epic Universe. Right now, we know that the company really got off track with Chapek. And I think that Iger is finding it significantly harder to bring it back on track than what he originally realized. And so all of this, it's very indicative of let's spin our wheels while we find traction, and then once we have traction we can go again. But all of this stuff, it's just lip service and grandiose ideas to generate excitement, but we're not seeing shovels in the ground, we're not seeing concrete, we're not seeing developed plans, because the truth is they're not developing the plans because they're spinning their wheels as a company right now looking for traction.
Well, and Shannon had a great idea in the truck today. We're sitting in Car Rider's line, and she goes, you know, you want to get some excitement back at the parks? Bring back free fast passes for people that stay on Disney property. You only get the 3, you don't get to add on to it. And if you want to add Disney Genie Plus to it, you can. And you get a 4th one at the first thing in that morning, just like you would when you order Genie Plus. It's a great idea. 3 fast passes aren't gonna overwhelm the system terribly. They will at peak times.
It just pushes out the available times for everybody that buys it. Yeah,
exactly.
So you don't create more slots. You just give up some slots.
Yeah,
but that would be on the Disneyland side of it as well. Like, that would be enticing potentially enough for many people to say, oh, well, that sounds really good because now I get 30 minutes early and I can book 3 ride returns. And so if I can get 30 minutes early and book 3 ride returns, I guarantee I'm 2/3 of the way done with the park before I even step foot into it, before any non-resort staying guest steps foot into it.
Exactly. And I think that brings the push back to the resorts. It gets a little bit of that goodwill back of 3 fast passes and that kind of stuff. So, no. One last thing before I know you got to get going. Applications opened earlier this week for the fall 2024 Disney College program. If you have a college-age student, they are looking for arrival dates between May 24 and September of 24. So definitely go on the Disney College program website for more details there. So, Peter, I know you got things to do. I'll let you go ahead and get out of here, man. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And then we will be back next week for another show. So,
like a real one, though.
Yeah, thank you guys all for watching. Bye now. business trip.
Did the people move around?
It does tingle a little bit. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Matt with Disney Planning Insights, and over on the other screen I have got Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, and tonight we are doing a DPI top 3. So if you've been here before, you know how this works. If you haven't been here before, I've got a bag of poker chips. We are going to pick one of these chips out. I've got a corresponding topic that goes with that number, and we are going to have 20 seconds to figure out our favorite or least favorite items based on that category. So with that being said, I am going to reach down in here and we are going to go with number 12 tonight. And we'll take a look at number 12 here. It is going to be 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Haha! Places to get unique Disney treats. You got it?
Like food or like apparel?
I think we can kind of do whatever we want on this one. So, you got 20 seconds.
Do you want to go to Disney? Contact me at Princesses of the Mouse Travel, and I'd love to work with you on your amazing itineraries.
All right, so we're back. 20 seconds. Unique Disney treats. This is an interesting one. I think there's a few that kind of jump out, like things that I like to get most trips.
I got my number one.
I think I have my number one as well.
I don't think you're gonna take my number one, so I think I'm gonna be okay there. I think your number one, let me put it this way, is the number one that you're thinking is, would Shannon also call it her number one? Maybe that's not the number one you're thinking.
Possibly.
Okay. All right.
Possibly.
I'm ready for number 3.
Okay, you go ahead with your number 3. I'm still kind of tossing a few back and forth for me, so.
Okay. So my number 3 is I am going to go to the confectionery in Magic Kingdom, and I'm going to kind of knock a bunch of things out with this number 3 because the confectionery in Magic Kingdom has a whole bunch of unique treats, but one of my favorite things that they have in there is they have like character cupcakes. So you go and they've got, you can just see what the characters are. You'll have like red frosting with white polka dots and some ears in them, or you'll have like a yellow frosting with a green ring on it, and so it's really unique and it's really fun, and so I'm just going to go with that for my number 3. And realistically, if you go into that confectionery, you're going to find a whole bunch of unique treats, but I really like when they have the character cupcakes in there, because you pick your favorite flavor or pick your favorite character, whatever you'd like to do. It's a really neat little treat. So, Matt, did that give you enough time to sort yours out?
Yeah, and I'm gonna go adult treat to start. And I'm gonna go back to Tutto Italia in the Italy Pavilion at Epcot for an Italian margarita.
Yeah, I knew you were going with that.
Yeah, it's a really, really refreshing alcoholic beverage. It's one of those that I could sit there and probably drink 4 or 5 of pretty easily during a meal. It's one of the very few places that you can find something with it because it's a limoncello based margarita, which is really, really good. But I guess this qualifies as a treat because, for me, it's not something that I'm going to necessarily eat as a meal or anything like that. So I'm going to go with the Italian margarita at Tutto Italia for my number 3. So let's go ahead and get to our number 2s.
Number two. I had them, and then I lost them. What was my number 2 going to be? My number 2. Um, man, I gotta make sure. Okay, I reserve the right to do a +1 if needed. When
If
the
your
time
thought comes back to you.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Okay, so excuse me. I man, you can get them in lots of different places, but you can really only get them in Disney. And in fact, right now, I am going to hope that they show up in World, but go talk about them over in Land, because what you can get over in Disneyland in a couple of the locations, it's now in Tiana's Foods, but for a little while it was in a little quick service, and before that it was where Tiana's Foods now is. But the Mickey beignets are so stinking. So I don't know. You just said Disney, so you didn't specify Florida. So I feel like I can branch wherever I want to branch. I am not cheating. You said it was pretty wide open. So if you
I think
go,
the beignets work. The beignets work because you can get them at Port Orleans.
You can. No, you're totally right. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you can get them at Port Orleans French Quarter inside of the little commissary quick service area in there. And you and I have already talked about this, that either in that area where the little Splash Mountain shop was, or somewhere, I have to imagine that they're going to be putting in some type of a quick service, whether they overhaul Pecco's Bill or whether they put in a brand new location. We've already speculated this in World.
Yeah.
But the beignets at Port Orleans French Quarter and in Disneyland in the Mardi Gras Square area at Tiana's Foods are Mickey shaped. And I am not kidding you when I tell you, like, you get an order of these things, and there's these, and you can order them in different amounts. I'm a big fan of the 6. What can I say? Like, these things come in a freaking bag full of powdered sugar, and it's just like kid in a candy shop. You reach in, you pull this thing out, there's just powdered sugar all over your entire hand. You're like eating it on your shirt. You don't even care. They're so stinking delicious as you walk through the park to be eating those things. Oh, the Mickey beignets, that is a very, very unique Disney treat, and absolutely delicious regardless of the location you get it. So I'm going with that one for my number 2.
There you go. And you started talking about the beignets, and I completely forgot what my number 2 was. So you did it.
I'm telling you, I'm going fat kid mode.
I know. That's
I want cupcakes and beignets.
That's kind of where I'm at as well. Is just like thinking around to like all of the different desserts and that kind of stuff that you can get at some of these restaurants. So number 2 unique treat. It's not necessarily unique, but it's something that you can get in a lot of different places. And in Food and Wine, they do it a little bit more transportable. But they do covered waffles everywhere. And you can get them at like Sleepy Hollow. You can get them a lot of different places. And it's kind of like the Disney
in America Pavilion will always have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like their answer to like the elephant ear is all of these different like loaded waffle treats that you can get, and you can get them with chocolate, and you can get them with powdered sugar, and you can get them with berries, and it just depends on what season you're in and where you are. It depends the toppings. I know sometimes they've had them with like pumpkin pie topping and all kinds of different stuff. So really, really, really good treats all over the park. Like I said, in multiple locations. You know, you've got the America Pavilion, Sleepy Hollow. Food and Wine, they had them at the Belgian Pavilion. They also had it in Connections Cafe. So a lot of different places that you can get them. But a very, very, it's a really hearty snack. And then as far as a dessert goes, it is a fantastic dessert that, you know, you'll get plenty of eyes on you as you get on the Skyliner, as you carry one of those on to your home resort. So my number 2 is the loaded Belgium waffles around the park. So let's go ahead and get to our number 1s. Peter, before you say your number 1, tell people where they can find you at.
Best place to find me is on Facebook. Just type in Princesses and the Mouse. And, well, if somebody else comes up before me with that search, I would like to know. that would be pretty surprising. So, yeah, come on over and we'll get you all set up and squared away. And, right now, like, it is awesome, like, how many people are coming in and getting those trips planned and all of that good stuff. And so I would love to talk to you as well about getting your trip planned, whether it's in 2024, or I've even had a couple of people reach out and we've already started having conversations about 2025, even though I'm obviously not going to be able to book those till halfway through 2024. But, having those preliminary conversations, really getting in your mind and getting those questions answered by a knowledgeable person, not having to peruse the Facebook groups, not having to peruse the Disney website itself, just having a spot that you can just say, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? I will answer. I'm going to put myself out on a limb here. I will answer all of your questions. And if for some reason I am wrong with that statement, I will go find the answer very, very quickly and get right back to you. But I feel pretty confident in I can answer most questions even on a phone call, because if I don't know it, I can probably like shoot the breeze with you a little bit and go find it while we're just shooting the breeze.
Yeah.
I'll push you onto a new question and I'll go find it while I'm answering your next question. Because if I don't know it, I know exactly where to find it. I just got to go pull it up real quick. My number 1, which is why depending on your number 1, I might need to do an and one. But my number 1 has to be, right? If you're going to Disney, any Disney, you have to talk about the Dole Whip.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Right? You have to talk about the Dole Whip. What Matt kind of talked about, like Dole Whip used to be very, very, very local to only the Adventureland area.
Sunshine Terrace.
Right next. Yeah. Right. So it used to be just there where you could get it was that Sunshine Tree Terrace, and that was it. So it's Aloha Isle Refreshment.
Okay,
yeah. So Aloha Isle, right? That you could get Dole Whips, and you had like the classic. You could do a pineapple. You could do a pineapple with vanilla twist. Now it has moved over, as Matt was saying, to Sunshine Tree Terrace, where you can get other flavors and other floats and other things with it. You can even, a lot of times during those festivals that Matt was just talking about at Epcot, find unique flavored Dole Whips. I know I've had a watermelon flavored Dole Whip at some point over there in an Epcot festival. I think it was at probably Flower and Garden, I'd have to imagine. So Dole Whip is it's a soft serve, and the flavors are so unique, and they're typically so refreshing, and it goes so well with a hot summer day down in Florida. Like, just be ready to eat it the second you get it, because the sun's going to grab a hold of it, and it's going to go down pretty quickly. So you got to bring up Dole Whips if we're talking about like the most unique snacks. Tons of different types of float options and swirl options and all those.
And another place you can get it is over at the Polynesian.
Oh, yeah, right next to the pool at Polynesian.
Yeah.
A little quick service, as well as that outdoor bar.
Yep.
We'll serve you up some Dole Whips as well. Yep, for sure, over at Polynesian.
Yeah.
They'll give you those more classic ones, but I've really enjoyed some of the branch out ones over the last few years as well. So that has got to be my number 1. But if you don't pick this one, because you already said waffles, because I was thinking Mickey waffles, and so waffles goes along with Mickey waffles.
Yeah. Nope. I'm going to go, before I say my number 1, if you've got a better answer than us, put it in the comments. Let us know. And if you have a top 3 idea, go to the website, patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning. Up in the top right corner, you can fill out that little text box, and it will send your ideas to us, and we will integrate them into our rotation of 25 that we constantly have. With that being said, my number one is the gray stuff.
What?
My number one is the gray stuff.
It's delicious.
It is delicious, and you can only get it a couple of places. You can get it at Gaston's, you can get it at Be Our Guest, and that's it. Every once in a while, they will do a gray stuff variation cupcake. But for the most part, you're either getting it in the dessert, and I think you can only get it in the kids' dessert at Be Our Guest.
They'll give you anything if you ask for it.
What's that?
They'll give you anything if you ask for it.
Yeah. And then at Gaston's, you can get it whenever you want there. And really what it is it's like an Oreo mousse. And it's fantastic. I mean, it's really, really good. It's rich. It's got kind of a delicate texture to it. It's really, really good. And it's uniquely Disney because it was kind of birthed in a Disney movie. So my number one is the gray stuff, which means Peter has a +1, it sounds like.
You know, I'm sitting here and I'm like thinking about all the other stuff, and there's just so many, like some of our viewers out there got to be sitting there going, well, how come you didn't talk about the blue and the green milk, and how come you didn't talk about...
That was my number 2. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that was number 2. Oh, yeah, before you had to bail out. But
yeah,
like over in Pandora, you have that night blossom float, the dual mixture of those. You've got everything at Beaches and Cream Sundae Bar, right? Like, including the kitchen sink, which is the most. My family did it once. It is the most ridiculous sundae in the face of this earth. And you're not
going to sink up there.
You what?
There's a mini sink in my backdrop.
Yeah, I have one nearby. Oh, it's on the floor right next to me. There's just so many other amazing things, and like my true bonus number 1, but we talk about it all the time, so it's okay that we left it off this episode.
Yeah,
the cinnamon roll at Gaston's.
Yeah, so I was gonna go with that, but it's not necessarily unique. It's just enormous.
I don't know. It's not, but it is. Like, I've never had another cinnamon roll that like mixes in the I don't know. It's sort of like an orange caramel cream and
Yeah.
So I don't know. So much good stuff though. As I'm sitting here, like kind of rolling through some of this, there is such amazing food down at Disney. It always makes me crack up when people will come and they're just those people looking to like watch the world burn.
Yeah.
They'll come out of a Disney trip and they'll be like, oh, all I did was pay $14 for chicken fingers and burgers and you did that on purpose. You did that to yourself if you went down to Disney World and all you ate was chicken fingers and burgers. Because yes, you will find those things in every single one of the parks. But if you would have taken a moment to do a little bit of planning, you would have realized that there are some phenomenal places to eat and some fantastic things to enjoy around there.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you the last time that I had a burger that wasn't in a specialty burger place. Down there.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much the only place I get burgers at Disney is I always get a burger when I go to Sci-Fi. But even there, like, the burgers are awesome.
Yeah, and, there's a couple places in Springs that are really good burger joints. So it's just like, everywhere else, if you're quick servicing yourself, you're quick servicing at the wrong places.
Right, that's my point. They're like, well, we didn't want to do a lot of sit-down dining because of the cost. I'm like, yeah, but Flame Tree Barbecue
Satuli.
Is fantastic, right? Yeah, Flame Tree Barbecue and Satuli Canteen. Like, we can sit in every single park and we can say, like, whenever I have clients go, I don't need a reservation at Hollywood Studios, we'll just grab something on that strip heading up to Tower of Terror. I go, why don't you grab something over in Galaxy's Edge, because either Ronto Roasters or Docking Bay 7 is really, really good food and really unique.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we definitely cheated a lot, and we still haven't even talked about all the unique stuff around World Showcase, like the school bread and oh my gosh.
Yeah, school bread, troll horns.
Yeah, all the stuff in the Norway bakery, all the stuff in the France bakery.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So if you want to explore and have good food, go to Disney. Give that guy a call over there. He's over there, right there. He's going to give you the best ideas, and I will help him do that. So thank you guys all for watching another DPI Top 3. Like I said earlier, if you have a better answer for number 1, which I'm sure you do, put it down in the comments, or at least put an emoji, because, you know, we like engagement. So thank you guys all for watching. Hey, we had Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel. We did a pre-recorded top 3, and then you got the outro. Pretty short show today, but thanks for watching. On social media, you can find us in a lot of places. The easiest is going to be over on Facebook at DPI Podcast for the show page, at PATM Disney Travel for the travel page. Over on Twitter, we do a lot of our conversations, and you can find us at Disney Insights. We are also on Instagram and on YouTube. Check us out. Thank you guys all for watching, listening, liking, sharing, hitting that tip jar, everything that you guys do. Have a wonderful week. We will talk to you next Tuesday. Bye now.